Hey everyone, welcome to my second devlog of the first person shooter game. The game I'm working on right now is more of a story based FPS game. In this devlog I'm gonna show you how I created my first character for my game from the concept to final. So let's get into it. I started by collecting the references for the base mesh I'm gonna be modeling and started designing the character in Photoshop. For the first time I'm using this kind of approach for creating the character because that way I'm gonna be feeling more motivated for the game I'm working on. Creating the character from scratch is a lot of time consuming task, so I might feel exhausted a little. But as I progress through the design, I even feel more excited and motivated because of the result I was getting. I know it's gonna be challenging to me to develop a character from scratch and without having experience working on a character. But I was prepared for it. I knew that it's gonna take a lot of time to research, learn more about the workflow and finalize the character. So I should enjoy the process. Games takes longer time to create. So you should enjoy the process of creating everything for your game, even if it's boring. One more thing I should tell here is I wanted to create assets for my game from scratch. So yeah, I'm trying to stick to it and create everything myself. The reason for that is you're not gonna get everything you need on the asset store as you expect, and I want my game to look as original as possible. So I think I'm gonna be creating everything for my game from scratch for as long as I can. If I stuck somewhere, I might get help from my colleagues, but we're gonna see how it goes. After designing the character, I imported the reference for the base character body into the Blender and started modeling. To be honest, modeling the organic things is more challenging than the hard surface. You have to keep an eye on the flow of the polygons and the mesh because it affects the animation. In case if you don't know, organic modeling is about the modeling human being or animals or any other living things. And inorganic contains everything from architectural to hard surface modeling, which are mechanical, and it's more of a non-linear things. Modeling the hand was more challenging task, and the time it took about the same as it took for the modeling of the body. It's the same reason, which is to keep the better flow of the mesh as well as keeping the number of polygons as low as possible. Because the character I'm making for the game, and the lower the number of polygons, the smoother the game will run. Modeling the head is also an essential part of the human body, of course. I started placing the eyes and sculpt as a reference first and then started the modeling face. I started from creating the circle and placing around the eyelid, extruding, then the same for the mouth. Then I joined them together and finally created the head. I sculpted the body to correct the proportions and posture, and I finally gone ahead and started modeling the armor. The armor was mostly inspired by the characters from the games like Halo, Doom Eternal, Overwatch, these kind of games. I started with just simple plain, added a shrink wrap modifier and just started giving a simple shape around the base body. I used the UV sphere for modeling the helmet, added cuts as needed with using the knife tool and shaped it according to reference. For shoulder, arm and other part of the armor, I used the same approach by just creating the base shape. For gloves, I just duplicated the hands and sculpted it to make it look a little thicker like gloves. For the lower body, I separated and duplicated the same parts of the base body and gave it a basic shape. Then I applied the modifiers and started customizing the shape of different parts of the armor. Added extra needed objects and shapes. After I completed the modeling, we're ready for texturing. But before that, it was necessary to unwrap the UVs properly. So I've done that. I chose unwrapping the character into 4 different pieces, 2 for the base mesh and 2 for the armor. For the base body mesh, I used 1 for the head and 1 for the whole body, and for the armor, I used 1 for the helmet, gloves and arms, and 1 for the chest, abdomen and lower body. In that way, our textures will look more detailed and sharp on every part of the body. As a low poly character for the game, there won't be any visible mesh details we can create. So to get that visible details, we need to create a normal map, which doesn't mean I should just grab the PBR texture from the internet and place it onto my character. I should be creating details as I need it for my character. So for that, I separated each and every part of the armor and duplicated it and started working. First, I added a multi-resolution modifier on the forearm armor in order to sculpt the details. This way I can adjust the number of polygons in viewport, sculpting and render separately. I started sculpting the details to make it seem like it has joints and bones. I did the same thing with the shoulder, collar. For helmet, I needed to tweak the mesh a little bit for sculpting. Then I sculpted all the body parts, chest pieces, chest armor, abdominal armor, the backpack holder piece, thighs, knee pad, calves, shoes, leg armor, and completed the sculpting with the gloves, adding stitches and wrinkles. Then I added a normal map for metal and baked it along with the normals from the high poly sculpted mesh to the low poly mesh separately for each different parts. Then I combined them together in Photoshop. For the base body, I gave a simple fabric texture and baked the diffuse, metallic, roughness and normal, which will be easier to use in Unity. I combined different types of textures into shader editor in Blender, added and created custom textures, texture maps for overlay designs and finalized it. We cannot just import these nodes in Unity, so I baked the diffuse, roughness, normal and metallic maps for each materials to create a final texture to use in Unity. And this is how the final character looks like. It took nearly a month to create this character and I'm pretty happy with the result. It came out as I expected. If you want to learn more about the workflow I use for modeling, texturing and baking in Blender for Unity, then hit the like button and comment down below. I will make a detailed video about that when I create a weapons for my game. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, please subscribe to stay updated with the progress of my game. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.